is this working properly? So maybe it's fine. So hello everybody, I'm Richard Gon of Back to the podcast version. Is this fine? Is it fine to create an episode here? Maybe my family has already been asleep, so it is fine. So maybe I shouldn't make a big noise. I should make a loud noise, large noise or huge noise for preventing my family from waking up. Yeah, it's necessary to prevent the huge noise. And anyway, so is it fine to use the word transitively? Wait a moment, please. So wake. Not transitively. Wake. What? I used the verb wake intransitively. Intransitive wake. The meaning of wake is to cease to sleep, become awake. Yeah, it's fine. So anyway, maybe I should tell you the title and the conclusion of this episode. Anyway, so and by the way, if my voice is small, please raise the sound, the level of the sound of this episode of podcast. So the title of this episode is Spring comes after winter, so does a political thaw after a war. And the conclusion is, however ways are chosen, it is fine to end the war. And the war I'm talking about is not of course, but actually, there had been another war which was taking place, or which had been taking place in Israel, or in the territory of Israel or Gaza. Anyway, the war this time I'm talking about this time is the russo-ukrainian war. And so there's an online article of BBC, which is the title of which is US and Ukraine sign long-awaited natural resources deal, which reads, and the content is the actual content of this online article is: the US has signed a deal with Kyiv to share profits from the future sale of Ukraine's mineral and energy reserves after months of tense negotiations. Anyway, this is how should I say, one of the greatest news for me, because so if peace comes to this world, so for example, anyway, so roughly saying, so it's possible to get huge amount of profits, or huge amount of benefits from the cessation of war. From the cessation, is the pronunciation of cessation fine? Cessation, which means bringing or coming to an end. Cessation. The cessation of wars, or in this case, the cessation of the Russo-Ukrainian war brings peace as well as money, which is how should I say? Which is the intention of this podcast, or of this episode of podcast this time. So which is why, so I'd like the war to be ended as soon as possible. So so I don't know how much loss Ukraine is going to take, or how much the country, how much Ukraine is going to be impoverished by signing the contract with the United States of America about on the future sale of Ukraine's mineral and energy reserves. The deal aims to provide I'm reading the article. The deal aims to provide an economic incentive for the US to continue to invest in Ukraine's defense and reconstruction, as well as to address Washington's concerns over the amount of aid it has already contributed. Anyway, so maybe I don't remember the exact price, but 350 billion is the total payment the United States has paid the country continuing the war against Russia. And so that's a huge amount of money. 350 US dollars is the amount of money United States has paid for Ukraine continuing or for fighting against Ukraine, fighting against Russia. So, but actually, so I understand I understand the situation. I understand the situation of the United States of America. But actually, so I understand. So so how should I say? Better word is that I understand the feelings of American people in general. I don't think it's proper to. I don't think it's proper that American people pay money for the benefit of for the benefit of the people of other countries than their own country, the people of their own countries. So American people paying tax has to be aimed at the benefits of those American people themselves. So I'm sorry for my I'm sorry for my low proficiency of English language. The gist is that American, if you're American, you should pay your own tax for the benefit of your life, or for the benefit of the lives of your family, or for the lives of your family members, for example, or for your friends, and that is fine. But actually, so maybe I have told you months before that so if you're American people, you're paying money, you're paying tax for me, and I'm a foreigner. By the way, I'm a Japanese person living in Japan who has nothing to do with the lives of American people in general. So that's the situation. So my country is protected by the United States of America, and thanks to that relationship, that military relationship, so this country has obtained many, not many, but huge profit from the United States of America protecting this country, and anyway, so this time United States signs a contract with Ukraine, and United States can get profit from Ukraine, and what kind of benefit I don't know what kind of benefit Ukraine can get. Maybe they can get, so for example, military help or military aid for continuing to fight against Russia, for example. That is a benefit. But actually, Ukraine may become a poorer country after the war against Russia, and I don't know the future. I don't know whether the future of Ukraine is going to be darker or brighter. So anyway, having signed this contract, about which there was an article. There is the article I was reading aloud in this episode. Anyway, so I'm sorry. Recently I don't speak English. So which is why my proficiency of English language has dropped. Anyway, so but actually, anyway, what I'd like to tell you is that what I'm thinking is that so peace is going to come in the near future, which is why I can get maybe the stock prices of American companies have fallen, and I have many, and thanks to the fall, or thanks to the plunge of the stock prices of American companies because of the tariffs imposed by Mr. Donald Trump. So I could buy a lot of shares or the stocks of American companies, and I can get I thought I could get the benefit from the rise of the stock prices of American companies in the near future, because the political thaw, or this case, I think the political thaw is going to be brought by Ukraine and the US having signed the contract about some about the mineral benefits to be gotten or to be obtained by the United States of America anyway. And I don't know the future of Ukraine, but actually, so at least I think I will be able to get some huge amount of benefits from the rises of the stock prices of American companies, which is what I expect, which is what I guess. So it's fine, So the end of roughly saying the end of the end of war between Ukraine and Russia is fine for me, because I can get an immense amount of benefit, immense amount of economic benefit from the rises of the stock prices of American companies and I have shares of other companies in other countries. For example, I have some shares of European companies. So anyway, so I can get huge amount of economic benefit. So in that perspective, or in that case, or in that aspect, so the end of last Ukrainian war is fine. But actually, I don't know the future of Ukraine. But it's fine. Because the future of Ukraine has nothing to do with my future. So far. And anyway, I'm thinking of this is the stuff I'd like to tell you this time. So this is the stuff I wanted to tell you this time. So wait a moment, please. And by the way, so Russia has taken some huge tract of Ukrainian territory, and there is a southern city of Ukraine, the name of which is Kherson, and Kherson is really and Russia is the Russian territory taken by or obtained by Russia is really close to Kherson. Kherson is a southern city of Ukraine, and the Russian territory is the territory of Russia conquered by Russia is really close to that Ukrainian city, by the way. And maybe the Ukraine has gotten some parts or some tracts of southern areas of Ukraine, because so Ukraine beat once Ukraine beat Russian troops, and which is why Ukraine could get some how should I say, retrieve or return Ukraine could retrieve some areas of their own territories or its own territory, but actually that tract of territory has been taken again by Russia. Anyway. And I'm sorry, so I should have told you that I should tell you the title and the conclusion of this episode. Again, the title is Spring Comes After Winter, so does the political thaw after war, and the conclusion is, however ways are chosen, it is fine to end the war. So this is all the stuff I'd like to tell you this time, so and by the way, I'm going to enjoy porn videos. Maybe I have stuff to do this today, tonight, but actually, so after that, I can enjoy porn videos. I can enjoy watching porn videos. So that's it. Thank you very much for your listening. See you.